Welcome! Welcome everyone to our BHMS TV channel. Today we're in a beautiful jail hotel and we're going to interview one of the manager in this hotel. We would like to ask them the questions regarding to our topic, employee motivation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First we want to thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. So my name is Matthew, and these are all my colleagues with Rashad, Karen, and Kathy. So we would like to talk to you about what Jail Hotel has done according to the Maslow hierarchy of needs in motivating employees. Specifically, as a topic, we have covered in our hospitality retail management course at BHMS of our overall program evaluation, and we are assessing the effects of human interaction on the management and delivery of various hospitality service, and investigating best practice of hospitality retail management in Switzerland. So basically, the interview should take less than an hour, and then we'll be recording the session, and all response will be kept confidential, of course. And this means that your interview response will only be shared with our teaching staff, and we will ensure that any information we include in our report is only used for academic purposes.
So I would like you to introduce yourself and talk about your role in the jail hotel.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Kian Kagara. I'm the front office manager at the jail hotel Lucerne. My responsibilities are checking the mails, doing reservations, and also one of my responsibilities is controlling the new workers. I'm responsible for them, how they work, how I evaluate them, if they're doing good jobs, or if they're doing some mistakes, I have to talk with them. And yeah, that's mostly what my job is.
So the first question is about how is the relationship between your college? Does everyone obtain recognition from your supervisor, peers, and team members?
I think the relationship between colleagues in the hotel is very good. And we're not, there's not like a hierarchy where we don't talk with the boss, or like we're with the manager. We can talk freely with them. We don't have to tell them sir. We just can call them on their first name, for example. That's how the relationship is really good with the workers and the boss at the same time. With the colleagues, I think it's pretty good. And for example, we always after the work, if we have time, we can go out and just like talk, like have a drink for something. Yeah. And recognition from the supervisors. Yeah, we always have, like I said, we always talk with our colleagues how it was, and what job they did good, and same time like what could they make better, for example. Yeah.
So you are kind of having a special meetings, right?
Special meetings, I wouldn't say. It's just more like colleague meetings, like going outside, because
so you just discuss the problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is about what kind of financial rewards are offered to your employees. For example, the annual bonus, insurance, and salary increase, etc. Yeah.
Well, there isn't any like bonus or salary increase. What we have is like let's say a worker was like he did a good job, was working for 2 weeks, and then he was doing everything right. We can give him like 1 day free. Instead of 8 days free a month, we can give him like 9 days free. Mm-hmm. But I would say like if I would be the manager, and if I have a good worker, I could give him like a salary increase, because I think it's also one of the most important parts what the workers want.
For sure.
Yeah, like okay, I can in this job I have like a salary increase. That's a good thing. Or as our Christmas bonus, for example. That's what it makes like to offer worker to stay at our place.
So the next question is, can you suggest some interesting and challenging work which increase motivation and working incentive? Because sometimes when the work is interesting, maybe you are more inside the work.
What I can suggest is like make a competition, like every month. Let's say for a worker, let's say he doesn't have any, he had like the most good reviews from the guest. I would say after that, like for, let's say for a month, let's say I did like I had like a lot of guests who said, "Oh, Mr. Kagala was doing great." Like I would give him a bonus, for example, or just like give him days free, like that. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any experience that sometimes maybe you're making the reservations and then sometimes there are a lot of groups and then there are overbookings, and then would it make you be more interested in your job because this is challenging?
Well, it depends actually on the worker. Let's say I had some workers too who weren't for the job because they were always afraid to talk with a guest. They were afraid that if something goes wrong, they cannot act flexible. Like if you have overbookings, you have to be to be talking with the guest and tell them what's wrong. And I had some guests who couldn't do that. I had some workers who couldn't do that. But for me, I love the kind of stress, like talking with a guest and solving a problem at the same time and giving him some solutions. So I think it depends on the workers, to be honest with you.
Okay. And another questions. What kinds of company rules are structured in order to protect employees or to make some rules for the employees?
Like what kind? Can you explain the question?
Like, are there any strict timetable that you have to follow or the dress code that you must to follow?
Yeah, we do. We have like a uniform. It's always black for the receptionist, and I think every company has strict schedule. You cannot always be late, for example. But once or twice, that's okay. But time schedule is also important for us, and just the uniform. Yeah.
So do you think that the rules is also important to like make the job more interesting and make it more motivating? Like if there is a strict schedule, it should be more motivating.
For me, rules, I wouldn't say it's motivating, because it's more like you're afraid of it. If you cannot follow the rules, you will be more afraid of it. I would say rules are not really motivating. It doesn't belong to motivation. It belongs to being scared if you don't do it. Yeah.
So actually you think if actually you have a punishment for coming to work late, that motivate the employee better?
If you give them a punishment, I would say that wouldn't motivate them for sure.
If they know they get they will be punished or something, they come earlier, which motivates them to come earlier to the work and prepare their stuff for the day work. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. On this, like how you explain it, yeah, it will motivate them. But if you go it like in a long run, and the worker will just be afraid of it. Like, oh, I missed the bus, for example, then I will be late. They will punish me. And then they will be more scared, like they will find some things, like I was late because my mom went to the hospital, for example. They would just make some lies instead of being honest to the workers, like, sorry, I got late, that happened once. So I wouldn't think it's motivational. Like you said, it is just for this moment, but not in the long run.
True. Okay.
And then because in Switzerland the rules is like the workers can only work for 45 hours a week, and in Jalata is it like that, or sometimes the workers have to work more but without any compensation, or it is right 45 hours?
And actually in the jail, so we don't want that the workers work more than the 45 hours, because we cannot compensate them. We cannot give them 3 days. We don't want to give them like 3 days and cannot give them 3 days. We don't want and cannot give them salary for the compensation. So we always avoid that. And for me, I worked like twice, 2 hours more than I should. So we don't actually.
So the next question would be, how does the working environment and working facilities help to improve employees' work incentive?
Like working facilities, for the receptionist, for example, we had a lot of complaints about it. Like the computer got destroyed. The software wasn't working. We had to work with the Excel, and we had like a lot of problems with reservations. So we give the wrong rooms to other guests, and were a lot of complaints. And I think it's very important if we have like the software, if we have the computer, and if you have enough computer for the workers. Because let's say in the reception you only have one computer, and then you have two workers. The other one isn't doing anything, and the other one is just doing the job. So I think it's very important.
Okay. And I also know about the problem, as according to my own experience in a jail hotel, that you had problem with the hotel system on the reception.
That's right.
So this is kind of was hard because we actually needed two workers in the reception. So one of us does the work upstairs, and one of us making the work complete downstairs to finish the job earlier. So the other question is going to be: are there sufficient kinds of compensation policy to improve motivation, such as transportation plans and education fee support? How it helps to increase working incentive?
There aren't any, to be honest, but transportation, cars, like when we work in other hotel, and the manager or the boss always picks us up and then send us there. For the school education fee, we had like, as you know, we had workers who spoke only Italian, English, and who couldn't speak any German, so we tried to send them to German school, and that's just how I think the compensation will be.
But do you do it now, like about the transportation of your employees? Because as I know, you have another hotel, Himmerli, and before you used to provide accommodation there, but now you don't. And how you deal with this? How you transport your employees back to jail hotel, or?
Because now we have actually a driver, and we had new drivers now, so they always pick the workers here up and then send them to Himmerli.
So the next question is, can you suggest some types of empowerment programs that offered by the management team to their employees? For example, the share of ownership, involvement in the schedules, suggestions, or the delivering.
Like, how would you? I didn't.
Like how the management level will empower the employees or their staff.
To empower the workers, for example, with a time schedule. And let's say I don't want to work on this day because I have a special day. I have a birthday, for example. We can talk with the manager and tell her like, this day I wouldn't like to work. Can you give me this day free, for example? So actually, the time schedule is very flexible with us, with the workers, because we are also, like I said before, like the workers and the manager, they're very close. We have a good relationship with them, so it's like we're not scared to tell them that I need this day off, so please can you give it to me? So I think that's a good part of it.
But also, do you, like for the staff, they have some power to control or decide their own like decisions? For example, in the reception, they have the power to decide, for example, do I sell the room or do I keep the room?
Yeah, they do. We do that. A lot of workers, like for example, let's say it's on a Saturday, we don't have any free rooms left. Like maybe we have 5 rooms left, and there's a walk-in, for example, and the guest wants to check in, right? So what we do, like what the workers do, we always think like logical, like okay, I have 5 rooms left, and I want to make it full, so I give the room like cheaper, so that he will take it.
Okay, so you don't really need to ask the manager. Okay. And also, are there any like survey or programs like to manage the employees' satisfaction regarding on their working environment or like daily routine?
Service for the manager.
Your survey.
A survey.
Yeah.
I don't think we don't have that.
No, sir. But just for the chill out. There's weekend.
like there is no like official meeting where you talk with the workers, because we do that outside of the work. That's how we can tell them how it is. And because for me, like, I've been to a meeting before, I've been called by my boss before, and I think it's more scarier when you're sitting in a room in an office, rather than I would be outside with him and then just talk, and then he would just tell me what the problem is, how can I be better. So yeah, we don't have that, and I wouldn't suggest to do that. Yeah.
But if like you are not satisfied with your work, how can you talk with your boss? Just in the bar after work, or you have some official meetings that you can report what you are not satisfied with?
We do, like, when the workers are satisfied with the work, right? They can talk with with us or with me first, and then we will tell our manager how it is, what the problem is with this person, with this worker, and then after that, if it's a serious problem, then we have to talk with her or with him, with the worker, and just have to sit down, and then the person can just tell us what is a problem, why isn't she happy, for example, or what the problem is, and then yeah.
So for the next question is, are there any insurance provided to protect the employees?
Insurance. I think it's common everywhere that the employees have an insurance for that. Let's say if you fire someone, then you still have to pay them at least 1 month. Yeah, and you cannot just fire them at that moment. You have to tell them like maybe 2 weeks you will be fired, and then still get paid. But that's common in Switzerland. Yeah, we also have that in the hotel.
And I have one last question.
Sure.
Do you think the staffs in Gel hotels are self-motivated to help the customers, or they wish to take more responsibility in the hotel because they love their work?
Good question. To be honest with you, I think the workers aren't that motivated, because they are just interns. This is just their first step. And that's why it's not everything is more like it's not more strict with the workers, because we know the workers are like interns, so that's the first step. This is like their first view of the job, how it goes, and motivated. We just try to motivate them, to tell them that this is just the first step. So if you make a good step with this one, then the next one will be easy. And like everything will just be easy. Just this is the beginning of the world, you know. Yeah.
Thank you for watching us. We're gonna see you later in our TV in Lucerne.